I am back again for January's Plan With Me, and let me tell you, if you have some new habits that you're trying to incorporate into your life in 2020, well, this is going to be the bullet journaling month for you. There's lots of different types of trackers happening, including a budget spending tracker situation. They're all, I think, pleasing to the eye, but simple to do, which is kind of my combo that I go for when I'm doing bullet journal spreads. And I'd encourage you to stick around to the end for the weekly spread, because whereas with the 2020 video, I did something very clean and simple, very easy to duplicate. For this weekly spread, I got more creative. I think I was inspired by all the pasting that I did in the beginning of the 2020 video with the 2019 reflection and the 2020 vision board. It's just a bit different than what I usually do for a weekly spread, but I quite enjoyed it, so I hope you do too. I'm gonna let Hazel take over because this is what you really want to see. By now, I'm assuming most of you are well aware of the fact that I usually always start these Plan With Me videos with a month at a glance spread, and this month I wanted to keep the actual calendar pretty minimal. I took an opportunity to create a line pattern on the left of the page, and all that really consisted of with tons of lines with a ruler, and I made the calendar just a simple black box towards the top right of the page. This spread and most of the spreads in this Plan With Me were made using a combination of some Pigma Micron pens and some Muji pens. So if you want or are interested in any of the products I used in today's video, as always, they are linked in the description box below. Beneath the calendar is a space where I can write down any important dates for the month, which for me, for the month of January, means a lot of birthdays for friends and family. We're moving on to the mood tracker spread. Now, I've made a few mood trackers before on this channel, but this time around, I really wanted to make sure that I created a mood tracker that not only tracked what mood I'm feeling on a given day, but also one that provides me with a space to write down a reason why I'm feeling a certain emotion, whether it be good or bad. It's not meant to be super detailed, just a basic explanation, because there's obviously not that much room. If you wanted it to be a beefier explanation, you could just make this a 2-page spread. I think mood trackers are great, but if you can record the context behind your moods, I think the completed spread definitely will give you a lot more insights into patterns in your behavior. The spread is really simple to use. At the end of each day or at the beginning of the following day, I'll just record what emotion I was feeling in by coloring in one of the emotion boxes, and then I can do any of my explanations in that third column. January means the start of a new year, and I think with the start of a new year, everyone or most people are setting their eyes on establishing some new habits. So I wanted to create a dedicated habit tracker spread. For me personally, there were 2 habits I really want to give more of a focus in January, and they are to compliment myself daily, and the second is to fill in my gratitude journal. So both of these are really habits that have to do with making sure my perspective and my inner dialogue is healthy. And I think those are the types of habits that are really great to enforce at the beginning of a new year. As you can see, I drew 31 bubbles for each of the 2 habits and even had a little fun doing a mini little leaf plant doodle at the bottom left of the page. Carry on with the theme of vertical lines from the previous page, I thought it would just be fun to create a completely random, not super useful, just for fun Dutch door. All I had to do to create this was make tons of squiggly lines on the page, and then I cut out the pattern with a pair of scissors, and I saved that paper that I cut for future pasting adventures in my journal. I didn't really want want to continue the line pattern that I had going on the other side of the Dutch door, so I instead decided to add a quote related to the yoga tracker that I'm going to be doing on the next page that says, "The attitude of gratitude is the highest yoga." Love that. As I mentioned, this next page is a yoga tracker because I'm going to be participating, like I have for the past, I think 2 years now, in the Yoga with Adriene 30 Days of Yoga. I'll have a link to the channel down below, but basically each day for the month of January, a new yoga practice goes up. And I have really loved following along with the series because I think when you're following the series in real time as the episodes come out each day, you get to read the comments of everyone else that's practicing and you feel like you're in this big online yoga class. It's pretty cool. There are 31 days in January, but I believe that first day is just an intro video, so no actual yoga practice comes into play. So this is just a simple tracker to keep myself on top of that. I am really looking forward to getting started. Whenever I'm looking to ask you guys about what kinds of spreads you want to see me include in future Plan With Me videos or what videos you want me to create in general, I always go to Instagram. So if you're not following me there already, you should definitely go follow me at Caitlin Marie De Silva. But one of the spreads that always comes up as a request is some sort of budget spending tracker spreads to do with money, which I want to do more of in 2020. This is definitely more spending tracker than budget. At the top, there's a box to write down what the budget is for the month of January. And then there's a section to write down any fixed expenses like rent, hydro, internet, cell phone, subscription services. You can total that up. And then really what you are going to be filling in throughout the month is the variable expenses table. And in that table, there's a section to write down which day you made a purchase, the store and item that you spent money at, the price of the item, and there's also in that last column a running total so that you don't have to constantly be calculating the total for how much you've spent. You can just look at that running total to see what the total variable spend on expenses has been. So you always know where you are at with your spending. Looking at this spread now, I may possibly need some more space for tracking down expenses because there's not that many rows here, but if that's the case, it'll be easy to just create this chart on 2 other pages. The last spread that I have to share with you is a weekly spread, and if you watched my 2020 bullet journal video, then you saw a week at a glance spread that was very clean and minimal and just super easy to create. This time I just wanted to be more creative, and I didn't really plan out how this spread was going to look. I only knew that I wanted it to look very DIY, scrapbooky, so I didn't even really use rulers when putting this spread together. I just let my hand do its thing. And the results is definitely something that looks a bit messier than what I usually do, but for some reason I'm kind of liking the messiness that's happening here and that it does look imperfect. Sometimes I feel like I can fall into the trap of feeling like my journal needs to look perfect, especially because I share my journal spreads or a lot of them online. And I know a lot of you can feel the same way because I get messages from people who say they're scared to bullet journal because they are not the best artist or they don't have the best handwriting or that they're scared to share photos of their journal because they don't feel it looks as good as someone else's. But a bullet journal is supposed to be a personal experience, a tool that helps you in your life and is a place for you to express yourself. And if we're striving for perfection, then we're really putting limits on that whole journey. So this spread was a reminder to myself that I need to, have more of these moments where I'm just more spontaneous with my journal and I'm creating something that I just want to create for no one but myself. And I hope this encourages you to do the same. Okay, so you've seen the weekly spread. What are our thoughts on it? I feel like this is the first time I've been very spontaneous with the weekly spread, especially when filming it. And I just kind of let my hand do whatever it wanted to do. Obviously, I use my bullet journal as a planner, but I also think one of the best parts about a bullet journal is it can have journaling elements, and like just letting yourself do whatever it is that your brain wants you to do is very therapeutic. I had music going while shooting this video. It was a great time. I'd also love to know in the comments below what spread was your favorite from this January Plan With Me, and what spreads do you want to see in February's Plan With Me? Like, did you see the 2020 video and this one and think, Caitlin, you totally missed this spread. Please include it next month. If there's a spread like that that exists, which I'm sure there is, I always forget something, let me know. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. Make sure you got all your bases covered, you're following in all the places, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye guys.